Hi, everybody. My name is Paul Hardison with Seadog Travels, and welcome to our final webinar of the year. Uh, we will be posting this webinar on our YouTube page afterwards, like we always do, and look forward to what we're going to offer in 2024 relatively soon. But for today, I'm very happy to introduce Mary Grimes, who is the Business Development Manager for the Southwest and the Dakotas for American Cruise Lines. And this is really our first, Mary, this is our first webinar about river cruising, and that's why I've been pretty excited about having you here and to sharing everything that American Cruise Lines offers, the destinations where they sail, and really a good view of what the cruise line offers for river cruising. So thank you very much for being here.
My pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure. And I'm excited to talk about American Cruise Lines and what we have to offer, especially since there is a lot of interest in sailing close to home, sailing domestically. And I'm going to talk about today what people don't realize they actually can do traveling within the United States. So thank you very much, Paul, for inviting me here, and I'll go ahead and get started. So we're going to explore the USA, the ACL way, American Cruise Lines way, and finest American ships. That's what we are, small ship sailing. Who we are a family-owned and operated company for over 50 years, as it says right there, starting really with shipbuilding and operating one tiny ship of about 50 passengers out of Connecticut, and that's where our home base is. We do have our own shipyard. It is Chesapeake Shipbuilding. That's where we build every single one of our ships. And we are American owned, American built, American crewed, which is a requirement for sailing between US cities. So every company that sails on US rivers must meet those requirements as well. An interesting thing here that people might not realize is that 90% of Americans can drive to our embarkation points. And that is because we have embarkation points such as St. Louis, such as Memphis, such as New Orleans, and many, many, many other cities. That is very convenient for a lot of people. And also flights are a lot shorter to get from wherever you are to wherever we sail. Now, I would like very much to show you a message from our Chief Executive Officer, who is Charles B. Robertson. And here is what he has to say.
Welcome to American Cruise Lines. I'm Charlie Robertson, President and CEO. We are thrilled to have you here and make you part of our mission to share America's story on the finest American ships. American Cruise Lines has a 50-year history, and its roots go back even further than that. My parents started American Cruise Lines after cobbling together a business with one small excursion boat on the Connecticut River. They built the first American Cruise Lines ship on a bare patch of land in Maine. It was a tiny boat, even compared to our smallest ships now, but it got them started. By the late 70s, they found a shipyard that had been abandoned since World War II in Salisbury, Maryland, where they could keep it all growing. That's now the site of Chesapeake Shipbuilding, where we still build all the American Cruise Lines boats today. What started as an East Coast operation grew haphazardly, but by 2000, we started to find our rhythm. I was a little kid running around the boats back then and worked summers as a deckhand trying to build time for a license. As we grew, we expanded west and began introducing our American Riverboat series, the first modern riverboats in the Americas. Their contemporary design and unprecedented spaciousness made them an immediate hit with our guests. We now operate the largest fleet of U.S. cruise vessels and have the only all-American fleet of ships. Next up, we're going back to our roots with a new class of ships for the East Coast. And the first one will be named American Eagle after our first ship in 1972. The new boats have a catamaran bow that offers a stable platform with a shallow draft for an unprecedented ability to explore. Our history of figuring it out ourselves is still how we do it today. And it's why we're different than most. By focusing on our mission and staying optimistic and committed, we can carry our long history forward together.
We're talking about simple sophistication. And as our CEO was talking about, our long history of sailing within the United States has prompted us to have a lot of amenities, and we have certain hallmarks. And one of the things that you can expect when you sail with American Cruise Lines is simple sophistication. And this refers really to the elevated service that we offer, but also the atmosphere that you can experience aboard our ships. Simple sophistication really means that we have a focus on personal expectations and exceeding your personal expectations. So you can really expect excellence in service. And then we also have a focus as well on the experiences that you will have. We carefully curate all of the tours that we have, so our guests can really sort of put together their own experience and do as much or as little as they like. We have a casual atmosphere aboard our vessel, so we don't have formal nights. We don't have really large gatherings, that kind of thing. We don't have any distractions such as casinos or big Broadway shows, but we have some very nice and more low-key types of activities. And we like to call ourselves casual country club and refined elegance. And that's what you can experience on our ships. We have comfortable accommodations. And another one of our hallmarks is the most spacious accommodations that you can find of any company that is sailing on the US waterways. And when I say this, you're looking at a mid-category double accommodation, but you can see the room. You can see a private balcony. This is on one of our American riverboats. You can see that you have a full dresser and you have a writing desk, and you will have oversized accommodations. And this is really a queen size bed. Or we can put together two twins and make a king size for you as well. So lots of room, because we want you to be able to sail in comfort and to consider your room a sort of sanctuary. So if you want to get away from it all, spend some quiet time, sit on your balcony, you don't feel as though you are cramped. You don't feel as though you are cramped anywhere on any of our vessels. Spacious bathrooms. If you have sailed anywhere on in Europe, for example, on those lovely ships, or if you have had perhaps a smaller cabin, you might have noticed that you also had a smaller bathroom. This is an upper category bathroom, and you can see the space here, space to put your personal items. Basically, it's almost a full-size shower, which is great. And we also have open seat dining. That means that we are not assigning times or tables for any of our guests. Our main dining salon basically will accommodate all the passengers at one time, if that is what happens. And people can come and go as they like to enjoy dinner within a specified period of time and sit wherever they like as well. We do have entertainment. It is entertainment that either travels with the ship or they will board in a specific port and sail with us for a while. So performers such as singers, musicians, other types of entertainers. And that's what we offer every evening. This is an example of our top deck on one of our modern riverboats. You can see that there is an exercise track that goes all around the top deck of the ship. These viewing platforms, as I like to call them, on the top decks really are outstanding, because the view and the scenery as you are going through the waterways of the United States is unparalleled. And this is the best way for you to see it and experience it. Let me give you an idea of where we sail. We have over 50 itineraries visiting 35 different states. And this is really surprising for a lot of people, because really they didn't think that they could sail as many places as they can within the United States. We also sail in Alaska on small ships. So you can really sail from coast to coast with American Cruise Lines. And there is a reason for that, which I will come to a bit later. But let me go into just a bit of detail as to where exactly we do sail. Within the Northeast region, you can see the map right here, and we have a number of itineraries within the Northeast. We have Maine Coast and Harbors, for example, that is round trip from Portland, Maine. We also have a Cape Codder, which is a great itinerary that's round trip from Boston and goes into Cape Cod For example, stopping in ports such as Plymouth and Provincetown and Hyannis is a great excursion. You are looking in the background at Hyannis Port. And of course, there is a visit included to the John F. Kennedy Memorial Museum that is located there. New England Islands is round trip from Providence, Rhode Island. And with us here, you can visit New Bedford, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, Block Island to get the best of the New England Islands. Hudson River is probably one of our most popular in the New England area, and that is a round trip from New York, going as far north as Albany. We have a Hudson River fall foliage cruise, which I will tell you is sold out very, very quickly, and it is a beautiful trip. And you can see here, we do include a West Point, Kingston, which is where Franklin D. Roosevelt's home is. And so New England is really where we got our start, and we have such lovely itineraries there. We'll move on to the Southeast region, which for us starts in Baltimore. And as you can see here, we go all the way around into Florida. We start in Baltimore. We have an American Revolution cruise, which is going to be round trip from Baltimore and be very historic and touch at points here that were important to the Revolution, the American Revolution. And then from there, we have various itineraries. And a lot of our itineraries average about 7 days, and they are point to point. So for example, you can go between Baltimore and Charleston and take in all these wonderful ports in here, which were very important historically, like Kitty Hawk. You can do this in the reverse as well. The most popular itinerary that we have along the Southeast is between Charleston and Jacksonville, Florida. And we actually dock right here in Fernandina Beach area right here. This is the intercoastal waterway that we sail, and we take in Hilton Head, Jekyll Island, St. Simon's, and of course, beautiful Charleston and Savannah as well on our way down to Jacksonville. It's a lovely cruise. You can do it in reverse as well. And because of the temperate weather down here, you can actually sail this through the end of the year. And we do have Christmas and New Year's cruises. Another that I would like to point out that is a rather unique cruise is the Great Rivers of Florida. This one is a round trip from Jacksonville and does take in 2 rivers here, the Tomalata River and the St. Johns River, and also includes a lovely stop in St. Augustine, which is, as you may know, is the oldest city within the United States. So this is really a lovely one here. We also have a Southeast cruise that is going to start in Baltimore and go all the way around to St. Petersburg, Florida. So that's a highlight of the Southeast. Let's move to the Mississippi River, which I think we have the most number of cruises. The largest number of cruises is in this particular region right here, in the Mississippi River region. So focusing here on the Mississippi itself, we do have itineraries and cruises that go from Minneapolis all the way down to New Orleans. So that one is the Grand Heartland, which is 14 nights, and you can go the opposite direction from New Orleans up to Minneapolis into the St. Paul area, and that's 21 nights, and that is the complete Mississippi. And the difference in time here has to do with the current of the river. The most popular is going to be the lower Mississippi, but we have many cruises in between, such as we have a round trip from New Orleans. We do have the Mississippi Gateway, which is northbound from New Orleans to St. Louis, the upper Mississippi, which is between St. Louis and St. Paul. So these are great cruises here because truly, when you think of sailing in the US, I think the first thing that comes to mind to people is the Mississippi River and sailing along the Mississippi River, which is natural to think that. But we also have, for example, up here, a brand new cruise for us between Nashville and Chattanooga, which is the Tennessee Rivers. This is a lovely itinerary that will go down into Alabama, into Florence and Decatur, for example, on the way to Chattanooga. This is very interesting, maybe particularly for those guests of ours who are interested in military history. This is truly fraught with Civil War history along this particular route. We do a lovely Ohio River, and that is between St. Louis and Pittsburgh. It's a nice leisurely trip, stopping again in many historic areas here, pointing out here, Louisville. Louisville, Kentucky is the home of the Kentucky Derby, and we do offer some lovely excursions there, Kentucky Derby Museum, Louisville Sluggerville Museum, and also some excursions that include distillery tours as well. And if you look over here to the right, this particular map shows one of our more popular itineraries that is called Music Cities, and that is between Memphis and Nashville. So you can go from the birthplace of the blues to the country music capital of the world, or the other way if you would like. We include a performance at the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville. This is really a great cruise. Everybody loves it. And the focus really is on music history. So that's a lot of fun on that particular cruise. The lower Mississippi is, and I want to show you this because this is our #1 cruise. This is our most popular. This is 8 days, 7 nights, and this is between New Orleans and Memphis. This is particularly interesting. If you don't know a lot about the Civil War history, this truly is Civil War history here. Really, really interesting. I have sailed this a couple of times. It's lovely. You are looking right here at Oak Alley. These are live oaks that are up to 300 years old. And there is a marvelous plantation here that is known as Oak Alley that has been beautifully restored. So that is one of the tours that we have. Vicksburg was a turning point of the war. It's a really very interesting small town. And of course, Memphis, we have some wonderful tours up here as well, including Graceland. So #1 cruise here. We'll go to the Pacific Northwest next, and I'll show you our #2 itinerary, which is between Portland, Oregon, and Clarkston, Washington. This is called the Columbia and Snake Rivers Cruise. It's a lovely cruise, which I have also sailed. I can highly recommend it because it takes in not only the Columbia River and the beautiful Columbia River Gorge, but also the Snake River and the different scenery that you will see here along the Snake River and into Hell's Canyon. Great itinerary. It is a 7-night. You can do it in either direction. Oops. Down here off to the right is the Puget Sound. So yes, we do sail Puget Sound and the San Juan Islands. This again is a great cruise. We do a 7-night and a 10-night round trip from Seattle, going into the beautiful San Juans here, Anacortes, Port Angeles, Port Townsend, Friday Harbor, and we even do an optional itinerary into Victoria, British Columbia. Now, we don't sail that because we are American flagged and we can't cross the border into Canada. So we do contract with Canadian Ferry Service, who operates that tour for us. This is the only place that you would actually need a passport is if you choose to do this cruise, this excursion into Canada. Otherwise, you're within the United States. If you have an expired passport, no worries. You are able to sail here within the United States and over 50 different itineraries. And now we come to Alaska. And we do have 3 different itineraries in Alaska, ranging from 7 nights to 14 nights. Absolutely beautiful. The Southeast Alaska is a 7-night round trip out of Juneau. We have a 10-night in Alaskan Explorer. And then we have the Inside Passage, which is 14 nights between Seattle and Juneau. I would like to also point out that if you have ever sailed to Alaska and you've sailed on one of the larger cruise lines, the major cruise lines, you stopped in Canada at some point during your cruise. And that is a requirement because they are foreign flagged. Please note here that we can sail round trip to Juneau without touching Alaska. That gives you more time to see the sites within Alaska. And you will, on a small ship that's 170 passengers, you can imagine how wonderful it is to be so close into the coast and be able to stop at places those big ships simply cannot get to. We have brand new itineraries coming up in 2024. So I gave you a really kind of a very quick summary of the regions we sail into, gave you sort of an overview of our cruises. Now we're coming up with new ones, and these are really going to be wonderful. Down East Maine, Yankee seaports on the East Coast, Florida Gulf Coast and Keys. This is really exciting for us. The Grand New England, which is a 14-night. Complete Southeast, that is the one from Baltimore all the way into St. Petersburg, Florida. The American Revolutions and Historic Mississippi River, which is a round trip from New Orleans. So we have these brand new ones that are coming up in 2024. Yankee Seaports is going to be between Boston and New York. What's exciting about this is sailing into Long Island Sound. We can do this because of the size of our ships. A 100-passenger ship can sail in there with absolutely no problem. We are really excited about this. One of the places we're going to visit is Mystic, Connecticut. If you have not been there, please go with us and experience it. It is a wonderful place to visit. Down East Maine, we have a Maine coast and harbors, round trip from Portland. This is going to be round trip from Bangor, Maine. And we are going to include some different stops in here, going through Penobscot Bay, touching into Belfast as well. This is going to be very popular. The Florida Gulf Coast and Keys, we are truly excited about this. Coming in December, actually the first cruise is going to be on the 20th of December. It is already sold out. The second one is on the 28th. It too is sold out already. But we are going to be sailing this a lot of different dates in 2024. We're excited. It is going to be a round trip from St. Petersburg, going into Key West, and then also we're going to have an excursion into the Dry Tortugas as well. This is going to be fantastic, and we're really thrilled that we are going to be sailing in the Gulf of Mexico. The Grand New England, this is one that goes really up through, it's between, it's a round trip from New York and goes up as far as, not quite as far as Albany, but has the experiences of the Hudson River as well as going into and around, going down to New York. So this one and up into Maine is going to be really wonderful. So you are going to get really a true look at New England. So we're really excited about this one. And the Complete Southeast, as I was telling you about here, from Baltimore all the way, you do the historic South with us. We've got brand new excursions, Port Canaveral, West Palm, Key Biscayne, and then the Florida Gulf Coast and Keys up and ending in St. Petersburg. And that's a 21-night. And we are no strangers to these longer cruises. And we have many guests who like to spend a lot of time with us like this. And also they will do back-to-back cruises. We also have new national parks itineraries. We're very excited about this because we are combining some of our popular cruises and adding land portions into national parks. This is fantastic for our guests to have the best of both, to do a cruise and then actually to experience national parks. The first one that we did start, and we started it this year, goes between Oregon and into Clarkston on the 7-night cruise. And then from here, there is a 7-night national parks, which includes Yellowstone, Glacier National Park, and Grand Teton, and ends in Jackson. American Cruise Lines operates all of the land portion as well. And this has been very popular. It is selling out for 2024, and we are hopefully going to add a few more dates. You are not going to be with tons of people on the land portion here. It is a smaller group, And so it is truly enjoyable. And we have had excellent feedback from this as well. As you can see here, these are the ports of call, and you will be able to spend 14 nights with us. The Great Smoky Mountains National Park, this was just announced earlier in actually the beginning of October. This one is actually an extension of the new Tennessee Rivers Cruise. That is the one that operates between Nashville and Chattanooga. With this right here, you can sail the Tennessee River, start in Nashville, do that lovely cruise and end in Chattanooga. And then we have 3 nights coach that goes from Chattanooga to Pigeon Forge. We stop at Dolly Parton Stampede. You have 2 days that are touring in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, and you end in Knoxville. So all of this, again, is operated by American Cruise Lines. You can see a detail here of the itinerary going through the Great Smoky Mountains. This is one that the entire sales team has volunteered to try. Brand new. This is really exciting. Alaska National Parks. We have done Alaska itineraries for a very, very long time. Our ship is 170 passengers. What we are doing now is we're doing a 14-night Fairbanks to Juneau on select dates. This is going to be a combination of the cruise and also going into Denali and Talkeetna, including Anchorage and Kenai Fjords and the national parks, and then also doing the cruise right here. We are really excited about this. We even have an extended one called the Grand Alaska National Parks, which is a bit longer. This is truly going to be one of a kind, and we were really delighted to be able to put this together for our guests to experience. Here is another and closer look here at all of the stops that we are going to make. Yes, we are including the flight here from Anchorage into Juneau. Land package inclusions, just so you know, all transportation and/or flights between locations, shore excursions to the national parks and areas of interest, all meals, all gratuities, and then the transfer back to the airport. So it is an all-inclusive vacation for you. Now, what's also interesting, exciting, and incredibly unique are what we call our combined itineraries. We have 2 of them, the Great United States and the Civil War battlefields. First up here, let me show you the Great United States, which is a 60-day, 20-state, 3-ship itinerary. We start in Portland and we end in New York. So here is how it looks. So basically what you are doing is you are combining the 7-night Columbian Snake with the National Parks tour. You're going the Mississippi River, the complete Mississippi up to the St. Paul. Then you are doing New England. So it's including the Hudson River and also including down here from Portland, Maine, all the way into New York City. It is a wonderful itinerary. Yes, we do have bookings on this because it is so incredibly unique. Because of the breadth of product that we have, we are able to offer this kind of experience. Here's an idea of the ports of call. So national parks, legendary rivers, as I said, then the travel day. And then we do have a hotel stay in New Orleans, the complete Mississippi, another travel day to get to Portland, Maine with your hotel stay. Maine Coast and Harbors, that's the one from round trip Portland. Then we are also going from Boston to New York, the new Yankee seaports. Okay. And then the Hudson River fall foliage. So you are really getting the most popular in the Pacific Northwest along the Mississippi River. You are seeing all of the ports that we offer, and then the best of New England. It's truly an incredible experience. Next up is Civil War battlefields. This is really going to be a great one and is truly designed for people that are really military history enthusiasts, in particular Civil War. And if they're historians, they will love this. This is coming in the summer of next year. It is at New Orleans to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. I love this map. We really designed this more in an old style, but this gives you an idea here of all of the different locations and the itineraries. So with this particular map here, it tells you which is cruising, motor coach, and interestingly here, Union victory, Confederate victory, and inconclusive, because what this particular cruise is doing in this itinerary, which was designed by a Civil War historian who is one of our lecturers on our cruises, is it is broken out into battles and campaigns. That's why you will see these dots right here. So these are really the most important battles, theaters, and campaigns of the Civil War. So here is what this does. And you can see here, Anaconda Plan, okay? So this is a New Orleans to Memphis, talking about major land campaigns, the scorched earth. This takes me back to when I was studying about the Civil War. Perhaps you remember this as well. Truly, really fascinating itinerary here. Lots of interest in this itinerary. Again, on select dates only, but truly unique. And we are really thrilled to be able to offer this kind of itinerary for the focus on, for example, Civil War battlefields, because of the type of cruises that we offer. Okay, all the extended itineraries do include excursions, entertainment, all meals, Wi-Fi, flights, cruise segments, everything is included here when you take an extended cruise. In fact, everything is included with our cruises because we are truly all inclusive. Let me show you the ships that we use in order to transport you on your cruise experience. So we do have 4 different classes of ships in our fleet. In the video, our CEO is talking about 2 of them, which are the newest of our fleet, the modern riverboats and the coastal cruise and the coastal cats, excuse me. The modern riverboats are our unique design of a riverboat that can sail all the rivers just like our paddle wheelers can. The paddle wheelers are the most nostalgic. We have 6 modern riverboats, the newest being the American Serenade that started sailing in 2023. When you saw the video, it looks like a ship. It does not look like a riverboat per se that we are most used to seeing and expecting to see on the Mississippi River, like our paddle wheelers, of which we have 4 that have recently been renovated. These are nostalgic in design. They have a paddle wheel that is not primary propulsion, and it is a unique experience, and one that most people think about when we're sailing in the United States. Immediately, people's minds think paddle wheelers on the Mississippi. We do have that, but as I showed you the map, we have so much more. The coastal cruise ships are among the first that were actually built. The Constitution and the Constellation are the ones that are 170 passengers. The other 3 are 100 passengers. The 170 passenger American Constellation is the one that sails not only in Alaska, but also in the Puget Sound. The American Constitution is up and down the East Coast. Now, these are the stars of our fleet, the coastal cats. These are the catamaran design, and we are so excited about these. Ultimately, we're going to have a fleet of 12. And these, as our CEO said, are our small, shallow, stable, go anywhere ships. The American Eagle and the American Glory are launching this year. In fact, the American Eagle already has on the 16th of August. The American Liberty and American Legend will be joining us in 2024. This is very exciting for us. Let's look at more closely at the coastal cats. 100 passenger capacity, almost all private balcony, as are most of our ships. So we have no interior rooms at all. Everything is an exterior room, but truly private. So there is no open walkway on any of our ships, and that does include the paddle wheelers as well. This is one of our outdoor viewing lounges. And you can see here how much room you have and how much of a really unique experience it will be to sail on one of these ships, which are debuting on the East Coast and sailing those itineraries. This is the design of the interior. We have very similar designs on all of our ships. What changes is the decor, but this is a design here which looks very much like one of our modern riverboats. Ample room, private balcony, truly a unique and spacious environment for you. Spacious bathrooms. This is a double bath right here for you, and you can see the room that you have here and how comfortable it is. And yes, 2 people can fit in the bathroom should that need arise. Lovely dining facilities. As you can see, it's open, it's contemporary, it's very much in keeping with a New England sort of shore design. The colors are bright, they are blues and whites in combination. Very, very much in as I say, nautical is what they say. Well, it's a ship, it would be nautical, but this is very reminiscent of a New England style here. Lovely lounges. The American riverboats. Okay, let's take another look here at the American riverboats. These are truly our largest at 180 guest capacity. All of the rooms here on the American riverboats are private balcony. We have an atrium in these lovely ships. We have a grand staircase. We have beautiful lounges here. And you can see the unique design, which really makes you feel like you were sailing on a ship. I have sailed on our modern riverboats. They are amazing. Again, this is a double category. Here is a view of the oversized bathroom on a modern riverboat. You're not cramped anywhere. You really, truly have a lot of room wherever you are on any of our ships. We have the most square footage per passenger, so you never feel as though you are packed in. You never have to wait in line. Beautiful open lounges. Now, our authentic paddle wheelers, we call them authentic, and they truly are authentic in overall design. Mostly private balcony. As I said, we have no interior rooms and we have no open verandas here. So each one of the rooms that has a balcony is truly private with no one walking around the entire perimeter of the ship. These were recently renovated for 2022, and you can see now contemporary design. The reds and roses are a more muted, nostalgic version of the Victorian era. You can see there is sort of a historical reference with our lounges, but again, a more contemporary and open design. The Constellation class, as I said, this is the Constellation and Constitution. These coastal ships were specifically designed to be ocean going, but you can see how close to shore right here. We are never out of sight of land. And this is how close you can get into the shore because our ships do have a shallow draft. This is a ship that is sailing along the East Coast. And the Independence class, 100 capacity, 100 passengers for these smaller ships, almost all private balcony again. They are among our older ships, designed again to be ocean going. But think about this, on a 100 passenger vessel such as this, sailing the New England Islands, going into Martha's Vineyard or going into Nantucket, our small ships can get so close into shore and actually dock in places that, you know, some of the big ships can't even get to these places that we go to, which gives us such a big advantage and offers and gives us the opportunity to offer so many different types of experiences for our guests on our cruises. Most of our cruises are all along the Mississippi River and the Columbian Snake, and in Juneau, Alaska, have a complimentary pre-cruise package. And that is one night. It includes transportation to the ship. It includes breakfast. And in some of our cases, you can actually, we have a more premium pre-cruise package, and we also will include city tours in some select port cities. Guided shore excursions and also independent. Featured are the ones that we offer that are complimentary. Premium excursions are ones that you can purchase in advance or you can purchase on board the ship. Typically, they might be more focused. They also may be a bit longer than our featured excursions. Featured typically are maybe a city tour, and it is a guided tour, and it often is by coach, and sometimes they are walking tours as well. Signature tours are small group. They are limited availability. An example would be a half-day fishing charter in Petersburg, Alaska. That kind of experience is what's known as a signature tour. We have theme tours as well, theme cruises. This is only just kind of an overall. We have whale watching. Lewis and Clark, the Northwest Pioneers up in the Columbian Snake is a theme cruise. And that means that the onboard programs are going to be more focused on whatever the theme is. There is a tulip festival that is offered in April in the Skagit Valley in Washington. And so we do have a tulip festival cruise. And that is very interesting because it truly focuses on what you didn't know, which is the tulip, basically how tulip growing and exporting is so important to the economy of the Pacific Northwest. I didn't know that. For example, there's a Mark Twain tribute that's on the upper Mississippi between Minneapolis and St. Paul, where a gentleman is actually in character as Mark Twain and talks about the areas that are being sailed through from the perspective of Mark Twain and life on the Mississippi. It's really a very popular one. So what I want to leave you with is we have a long history of sailing. We have actually the largest fleet of anyone sailing. We have 19 ships. We have different classes of ships, which allow us to sail in the most areas in the United States, up and down the East Coast, in Alaska, in the Puget Sound, and all up and down the Mississippi, in the Mississippi River region, and in the Columbian Snake River. We are also able to offer national parks and offer extended cruises, which combine different cruises with overland and including flights to get from one to the other. We are able to offer these very unique itineraries because of the number of places that we visit and because we are able to put together the land portions that are operated only by us as well. We have the largest staterooms. I'll go through this very quickly. We have all outside facing staterooms, okay? Private balconies, which are also among the largest. They are not French balconies. They are truly sliding glass door, open, and you, as you had seen, they have table and chairs where you can enjoy yourself there. Almost full-size bathrooms, okay? Another thing that's important, and this was particularly important when we were sailing during the COVID restricted time, that we have independent HVAC in all staterooms. There is no public ductwork that is shared between any of our rooms. So it's truly an independent air circulation in each one of our rooms on each one of our ships. We're stabilized, we're American built. We are true small ship sailing, meaning it's really, this says 90 to 180. It's really about 100 to 180 guests, and that's it. We will never go even up to 200 passengers. So we are truly small ship. There are other ships that are sailing within U.S. waterways. One is over 400 passengers. One is way over 300 passengers. So true small ship sailing gives us an advantage in being able to put into different places because we do have a shallow draft. And so we can get into places that other ships can't get to. Excursions are award-winning. We have lovely excursions, multiple excursions in any given port. Complimentary Starlink Wi-Fi on all ships. And we were actually the first to include that on every single one of the ships in our fleet. Our rooms are well equipped with amenities. As you can see, we have space throughout the ships. And we are all inclusive, meaning all beverages are included. Complimentary cocktails, wine, beer, snacks are available at all times for you. We have onboard historians and experts. So we have what we call passenger enrichment on every single one of our cruises. We have entertainment nightly on every single one of our cruises, and a happy hour. So people can come and discuss and make friends what they have seen during the day. We have complimentary pre-cruise hotel stays in many of our ports. And all gratuities are always included. Our guests are not expected to tip when they sail with us, unless they choose to do so. We have no corkage fee. You can bring whatever you like aboard our ships as well. And we have also, we started offering a flat rate domestic airfare. So you can actually use our air, which is a very reasonable rate to get from anywhere to anywhere with us as well. So we welcome you aboard on any one of our many cruises. We hope that you will join us soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. That was an excellent overview of American Cruise Lines, and I was pretty amazed by really the diversity and number of different itineraries. It's almost like a smorgasbord of choices.
It really is.
I was mentally going through my head of which ones are my favorites, and I think I initially landed on Lower Mississippi, Florida Coast and Keys, and up in Washington State at the Columbia River. If I had to choose on the spot, those would probably be the first places I'd go to.
They're really wonderful cruises. The Lower Mississippi is truly an eye-opener. It really is. The Columbian Snake is just breathtaking. And we all want to go on the Florida Gulf Coast and Keys.
Yes, for sure.
I hope we can.
I did have a question for you. I know being that the ships are 100 to 180 passengers per ship. Does American Cruise Lines accommodate groups at all on the ships?
Absolutely. We accommodate, as large a size as the ship can accommodate too. I mean, if you'd like to charter the ship, we're more than happy to do that as well, which is entirely possible if you have a 100 passenger ship. But yes, we do groups, we do customized groups as well. We have groups of friends that like to travel together. Typically, a couple will go and then they'll bring their friends and we can turn that into a group. Absolutely.
Okay, great. All right. Well, again, thank you very much for being here. I have the feeling you and I are going to be working together for quite some time into the future. So I'm looking forward to that also. And
thank you.
Thanks again for being here. And we hope everybody enjoys the presentation. And please reach out to me, and I will work with you to explore where you can go and what you can do on American Cruise Lines, and answer any questions you have and help you explore America, which is what it's all about.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Mary. Take care.
Thank you.